Hey, Phantomaniacs! Welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at The Wanderer, or Michelangelo, as he appeared in the interstitial issue 17 of the first volume of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Mirage Comics, Distractions, which was a series of single turtle stories that took place kind of in between larger story arcs. So this showed, now you see here Michelangelo, this is kind of a fantasy type storyline. It's all happening just in his head, his imagination. But it's Michelangelo saves a family, saves really an entire province from an evil monarch. And later on in the issue, after he sustains some battle damage, as you can see, he ends up with the look that this figure represents. Great issue, but that could be said of pretty much every issue of the original Mirage Ninja Turtles comics. These are all fantastic. If you've not read them, I highly recommend you check them out. This one can be found, I would assume this collection either can't be found or is prohibitively expensive now, but this is the collected book volume 3. That was actually released by Mirage Studios. And you can see on the front the inspiration for the third Ninja Turtles movie. So when you talk about turtles in time, or traveling through time, there was a precedent long ago. So there you go. That is the reference for this Michelangelo figure. Love this packaging. It's very... I ordered this. This is a Best Buy exclusive. I ordered it online, and it arrived. The box looked like somebody had... The shipping box looked like somebody had sat on it. And you can see this is a little damaged, but we all know I'm opening this thing up, so I'm not going to pretend I need a pristine box. You can see on the back here some cool shots of the figure. Got a little cross-sell at the bottom with Savante Ramiro, Foot Soldier, and I think that's one of the Ultimate Foot Soldiers. You know, I haven't opened mine yet. I've got several of these Mirage figures that are sitting in the bin right now because I just haven't had time to get to them. But this one just came, so I figured, well, let's get it out there. It's the hot new release. Let's try and capitalize on that. Let's see, our interior's kind of bent up. Whatever, don't care. And the same background as all the other ones with that great Mirage Comics, the background artwork that Eastman or Laird did. I can't remember who did what. But anyway, it's a great colorful panel back there. The figure itself, now right off the bat, I can see there are some differences between this and the four turtles who, we'll take a look at here. Big assortment of weapons with this guy. Might as well grab Michelangelo. You can see there's a big color difference here, which I actually like. The original comics are black and white. I don't need every turtle to be this same shade of green. I actually like a little variance here because this is happening in his head. Maybe he's more green in his head or a darker green. Who knows? Works for me. I'm good with it. And lots more new tooling than you might expect on this one. Because it seems like something that they could have done really as a pretty heavy repaint, repaint. But that doesn't seem to be the case, which makes it interesting that it's a Best Buy exclusive. Best Buy, if you've not been in your local Best Buy lately, they have a very interesting selection of toys. Oh boy, that's not good news. Oh, no, wait. No. It doesn't matter because the arms swap out. So that may have just not been seated in. We'll investigate that a little further in just a minute here. Because if you remember on those original Turtles, they have swappable arms, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder, it's sitting right here. We may as well take a look. Is that wrapping the same? No, it is not. How wild is that? They could have just reused that bicep wrapping, and they didn't. That is a different sculpt. That's crazy. Because obviously this portion, sorry, I don't even know where, it's ink from something. I didn't even touch a red pen today. I have no idea where that came from. It's been a busy day. Well, anyway, so newly tooled, which should show you how invested NECA is in this line and in getting these to look and feel right and special. Okay. So, as always, be very, very careful with anything that's sort of sticking out. I wouldn't put a whole lot of pressure on those. So when you're putting this arm, if you end up getting this and have to put the arm back in, just be very careful where you hold the figure. And there we go. The arm pops right back in place. And I love these. Okay. There is Michelangelo, the Wanderer. Gosh, these are going to be a pain. Let's do this. I said let's do this with purpose, like it was just going to... Oh, there we go. Cool. And just rip that right open. Some hands. Got some nunchucks that I'm not gonna... Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Oh, interesting that these are just straight up strings and not... Well, I guess that's how the other ones were, too. I think the movie Turtles had wired nunchucks, if I'm remembering correctly, which I, may not be. Oh, this actually has a shell on top. Okay, there we go. Oh, and it's got the whatever that little thing is called. Oh, these look great. The white on these is really a good call to really differentiate them from other weapons that have come out in the line. Because you can see... I just knocked over a bunch of turtles. On the original Leonardo, the paint deco on his katanas. And then here we've got same sculpt, which is fine, but they went with the white. Sorry. They went with the white on there just to make these stand out. I love it. I love these artistic decisions because, again, these, these original Mirage comics were black and white. So there is a degree of leeway in how these are presented, especially something sort of unique like this character, this figure. Okay, let's get these accessories out of the way and take a look at the figure itself. So you've got probably the same sculpt. No, it's not. Look, because the Leos are side by side. They're not crossed. So different scabbards. These are crossed, as they were, you just saw in the comic. And if you look, I love the way that they did the belts here. They're not just painted on. They are actually sculpted, but the way that they've inked them or painted them gives them that comic book look. And even his tunic here, the way that they've done the paint on that, if the sculpt has... It actually has sculpted texture, but that kind of looks like the dot... It is dot matrix printing, right? Or am I thinking of something else? However comic books are printed, it has that dotty look to it, which granted is also just sort of a burlappy type thing, but I don't know, just the look of this is very appealing to me. I love the lines that they put on these figures. Now, point of interest, this is an unmasked turtle. Very different from anything else we've seen in the line so far. I mean, granted, we've only seen 4 turtles, but... Again, this makes this figure stand out as something different. Did I get that? Yeah, okay, it's in there. So articulation-wise, these are all... Here's the first thing I noticed that I didn't totally love about this figure. That bicep swivel's being stubborn. I might heat that up. Oh, and before you think that, oh, the elbow's a different color, doesn't that drive you nuts? No, that's just the shading. Very interesting how they did the lighter shading on this darker green as well. Again, just giving it a very different look from those other Turtles figures. So you've got double jointed elbows. You've got sort of your standard shoulder articulation there. Elbow swivel. The wrists rotate and pivot some. They're a little limited by the sculpted bandages here, or wristbands or whatever. And I will say that this going down into the sculpt of the forearm bandage wristband does bug me a little bit, because it just seems, this figure seems like it's too high quality to have something like that. And I realized the only way around that was to sculpt this lower, and to be honest, maybe that's how they should have gone with it. It's not, you know, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Oh, and you can see we've also got the pin showing through right here. I don't love that. I know it would have looked very, very, very slightly different from the comic, but I gotta say, I wish they had just sculpted these lower so that they stopped where the pin and where the elbow joint are. I would have preferred that. Not terrible, but just that's the call I would have made. All right, and then we have this sort of unaffiliated backhand piece here, but that's okay. And then the wrappings on the shins as well. There's a joint underneath the tunic and the shell, because you can see his shell right underneath here, and his little tail, which is, by the way, on a little, it turns. There's a pretty good ball joint at the waist there, and then the hips are kind of our NECA standard. Well, NECA and Super 7, I believe, at this point are using that same sort of ball and socket with the swivel at the very top of the thigh, kind of concealed. Got double jointed knees, moving nicely. The figure feels very solid. These are heavy, thick figures. Very well done, high quality, well executed. All the articulations moving nicely. And then, of course, the ankle joint, standard modern ankle joint. But the wrappings here do interfere. They don't have quite as much range as the regular Turtles. But again, this is a special release. This is something different that we want to look and feel different from those 4 Turtles that are still showing up at Targets, by the way. I just found a Target with 4 more sets the other day. So, you know, if you haven't found them yet, they are still showing up. So there you go. That is Michelangelo as the Wanderer. Let's take a look at that portrait again. All the scarring, those black lines look so good. I'm such a huge fan of this line. All right, put him over here. Take a look at these accessories. You've got multiple interchangeable hands. You've got some sort of open gesturing hands, and then a couple of C-grips. The default hands on the figure are just fists for punching. So those, well, we'll go ahead and swap those out because we want to see how some of these weapons are going to fit in here. So we'll put in our C-grips. And again, NECA, you know, I have basically been gushing over NECA for the past year, but I think they've earned it. They've really figured out the plastic quality and the peg size that makes it not terrifying anymore to swap those parts out. All right, so set him over to the side. We have got a Naginata. The great sculpted wrapped handle. You can see the wood grain on the bottom portion there, and then at the top with that white blade. Great looking weapon. The 2 katana that we kind of already looked at. those will slide home. Yeah, it doesn't matter which way they go in. Oh, they work really nicely. They go right in. That's fantastic. And then, of course, Michelangelo. Oh, wait. This little scythe type thing, which in the art, if you noticed, was kind of tucked into the back of his tunic belt situation. I don't believe there's a way to get it. Well, maybe there is. That's how easily those swords go in, is that one just slid right out. You can probably tuck this. Look at that. It kind of tucks right up under there. I'm not saying that's a design thing, but that's how it looked in the comics, so you can achieve that effect if you want to store this back here. And then finally, the nunchucks that are attached. I would be very, very careful with these. I had one of the movie nunchucks that's made this way, and I do believe they're string and not wire, now that I'm thinking about it. But one of my movie nunchucks, with very, very little pull at all, the string just popped right out of the handle. Now, fortunately, there are plenty of movie nunchucks out there, so I was able to replace them. But just be careful with these, because just because of the way that they're made, there's only so secure those strings in there can be. It would be cool if one of these popped in half, because the evil overlord cuts one in half during the climactic final battle, but I'm cool with them as they are. So let's give Michelangelo those nunchucks. I kind of wish they were wires, because I would really like to be able to pose them, because, you know, now they're just kind of, they just kind of hang there, but still pretty good. The sculpt on them looks great. This is an awesome figure. Extraordinarily well executed, more tooling than I expected, and just, you know, it's a great exclusive because he's not a must-have, but he's definitely a cool addition and will spruce up the shelf with something a little different and another, you know, another different-looking turtle, which I think is a good thing. So there you go. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about needless things. Sorry, like I said, it's already been a long day. And come back all the time for all the different toy reviews you could possibly want. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, I love being a turtle.
Smash that like button if you like needless things.